So Mark Selby comfortably in his seat there, just awaiting the arrival of Ronnie O'Sullivan, and here he is. They've played each other 33 times, well 34 really. They've had one draw, but Ronnie O'Sullivan leads the head-to-head by 21 frames, or 21 matches rather, to 12. But on current form, it has to be said, Stephen, you'd have to make Mark Selby favourite for this one perhaps.
Yeah, he's played some good stuff so far today, hasn't he, Mark? 2 matches played, 2 matches won. And it's quite the opposite for Ronnie. 2 matches played, 2 matches lost. So a little bit for Ronnie O'Sullivan to find here. I believe he's got a new tip on his cue from the first match, and certainly looked a little out of touch in his previous game against Kyren Wilson. Again, you can hear the big sigh from him straight away off the break off. He didn't like that. Mark Selby, though, so impressive in his opening match of the day against Kyren Wilson. 2 centuries in that game as well. Remember, this Championship League for these players is all about solid match practice in the run-up to the Masters next week. And what a kiss that is.
Yes, Paul Collier, our tournament director, has done some work on the tip of Ronnie O'Sullivan's cue. Whether it's a new tip or whether it's a repair to it, some remedial work, I've no idea, but I think I'm with you. It seems to be a new tip because he's struggling with it a little bit. Break-off shot wasn't the best and could be very costly because Mark Selby's right in here. I've said before that hasn't been the best season so far for Ronnie. He's missed a few tournaments, but he's 18th on the one-season points. Mark Selby 12th.
Played the shot from the brown down the table very well, Mark Selby, to leave the low angle on that red. Just meant he could bring pretty much all the reds into play from that one shot. So very early on in this opening frame, this is now a very good scoring chance. And similar to the task that Kyren Wilson had against Ronnie O'Sullivan, it's up to Mark Selby to try and capitalise on the fact that Ronnie doesn't look comfortable with that tip. Played a few wayward shots, shall we say. And it's up to Mark to try and keep him in his seat for as long as possible.
Yeah, all the players are aware that Ronnie's had a bit of work done on his tip. So from Ronnie's point of view, he probably doesn't have too much expectations, or too many expectations of doing well now in this group, perhaps because of these problems, but I think the other players will be conscious of the fact that they shouldn't be leaving or giving Ronnie any easy opportunities unnecessarily. You keep Ronnie long range, the chances are he will make mistakes.
Well, that's the thing with Mark Selby in general. He wouldn't give you a nod in the desert, would he? I don't think he's going to be gifting any easy chances to Ronnie. He plays the same type of snooker regardless of the format, regardless of the event. He's the ultimate winner.
Well, I'm sure Mark Selby attempted the cut there on the red to the left corner, because he hit it so thickly the cue ball's travelled nowhere, and he can cut this red in, Ronnie. Oh dear, big misjudgment. Probably played it with side spin and it's just thrown the cue ball into the red, and he's hit it so thickly he's gone in off. Can't be much fun, though, for Ronnie O'Sullivan having to play with a brand new tip on his cue, playing players such as Kyron Wilson, Mark Selby, Ali Carter, Chris Wakelin. Not going to be much fun this afternoon for Ronnie O'Sullivan if he's struggling with his tip.
One thing I will say, though, is that it's not the first time we've seen this from Ronnie, where he's chopped and changed a tip mid-tournament, and probably is one of the best players, if not the best player, to deal with those changes very quickly. He's very able to adapt fast to new tips and conditions, but he certainly looks to be struggling with this one. That's visible. Well, it was a great yellow from Mark. Struck it too well, really. Wasn't able to follow it up with that red to middle. Once again, he's left a half chance for Ronnie, but not the sort of red you want to have to pot to get yourself in when you're struggling with your tip. Pressure on it. Reds are everywhere.
Hang on. Oh, I thought that red had gone in. Goodness me. That could have made a big difference to this frame, but it shouldn't do now.
Well, that shot there from Ronnie is just a classic when you're using a tip that you're not used to or you don't like. Played that with a touch of side, naturally cutting the red to the right, so you would tend to play with a trace of left on that type of shot, and it's just thrown so thick. So much so that he's pretty much hit the red full ball. It's amazing, isn't it, Dom, just how much of a difference little things like that make. It's hard to really explain unless you've tried it or played the game.
Yes, when you play a shot like that and the result is such a poor one, and it's because you're just not used to the tip, and maybe you don't like the tip that's on your cue, that's even worse. But can you imagine just how much confidence you will lose in your game when you can miss a pot by that far? Because perhaps the tip that's been put on your cue is not one that you like.
I suppose the only consolation for Ronnie is that if he can find a quick fix for that tip soon, at least get it out the way here at Championship League, as Mark Selby miscues a black. Well, it's all happening.
Oh, it's full of variety, this first frame, that's for sure. But look at the position of the reds. There's a great chance of Ronnie here. And he does need to start scoring just a few. If he can make a 50 break from here, just take all these open reds with colours and make a decent break and restore some lost confidence, I'm certain.
He had a couple of chances similar to this against Kyron Wilson, and an unexpected mistake just crept in at times, and to me that is just lack of feel from the tip. So we'll see how he goes on here.
If Ronnie plays this with side spin again, he'll have to be careful. That's okay. Doesn't sound particularly soft, the tip, which is good. On these conditions, a soft tip can be tricky to play with.
But again, that shot there, he wanted to be further down the table with the cue ball. Much straighter on the black. He's got an angle so much so that he's having to take the more difficult pink. Yeah, it's a good pot considering.
29.
Currently in 5th place in the group, Ronnie. Badly in need of victories. This is his 3rd match, yet to win one.
37.
I'm just wondering, with the blue near the corner pocket, is it worth trying to bring that awkward red into play from this one? No. Played for the yellow. I think the way these pockets are playing and the fact that he's perfectly on the yellow, he'll stun him behind this red. It shouldn't be a difficult pot if he gets in behind it nicely. And that's pretty good.
47.
Well, all things considered, this has been a brilliant break so far from Ronnie. Green won't pass the blue though, so just having to travel with his cue ball across the face, and he's played it well. Yeah, he's played it perfectly. So the miscue from Mark proved to be very costly. And there was an anxious look at his tip upon the miscue. I hope it's all right.
Yes, we'll find out. Sometimes when you play a backspin shot, especially if you have a small tip on your cue, you can chip the side of it very easily and render it useless. This has been an excellent performance from Ronnie because he looked very out of form at the beginning of the frame. He was like this against Chris Wakelin, and in 15 minutes it was 2-all. So good performance in the end from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Mark Selby miscuing. He's having a look at his tip. But anyway, he's got about 2 minutes before he has to play the next shot. Ronnie O'Sullivan takes the first frame to lead 1-0. Welcome back. That's the tip Well, I was going to say of Mark Selby, but I think that's Ronnie's cue. It's a brand new tip put on by our tournament director, Paul Collier, who often puts tips on or does remedial work on professional players' tips during tournaments. Interestingly, Mark Selby may have some problems in that direction of his own, having miscued on the black in the previous frame. He's breaking off here for frame 2. Having lost it eventually to an excellent clearance of 79 from O'Sullivan.
Well, Ronnie missing the red completely may provide an opportunity for Mark Selby here. The red far right of the screen will be available to the right corner pocket. He's got options. He can top this through. Could try and stun round the back of the black. He's played the little delicate stun and he's timed it to perfection. Very similar to the first frame. First chance to Selby and first chance where he's nicely in.
Eight. Nine.
Didn't want to cannon that red. He's wrong angle completely now on this red to the right corner. We'll have to screw off the pack of reds or run through them. You'll be hoping to be on the black here, I feel. Needs to trust to luck now. Is he going to be on anything? Well,
17.
He's on the blue to the yellow pocket. You have to stretch and lean across the table, and that red that's on the top cushion may be in his way a little. I'm going to look at it. Should be okay though.
Yeah, so now this becomes a good chance for Mark Selby. Very aggressive shot that he played from the red, bringing everything into play, and look at how they've split. Like the sort of practice setup you would start your day with down the club, just chuck them out the box and put them all into potable positions. There's nothing safe here for Mark.
23. $30. $31. $36. $37.
A player of Mark Selby's calibre. Difficult to see him breaking down here before the frame has long since been won. Take this opportunity just
45.
to give you a quick update on table 2. Jack Jones has won comfortably the first frame. in his match against Chris Wakelin. They've just begun frame 2. That match available for you on our Matchroom Multisport YouTube channel.
50. 51. 58. 59.
This has been a good response from Mark. He's taken these well. First few shots of this break were key and got the reds open very quickly. When you do that as a player and get the balls into this position, really nothing should go wrong. You shouldn't ever really miss easy pots like these. It's only if
65.
he was out of position at any point, which in itself seemed very unlikely to happen. So in no time at all, the frame is won.
68. 69. 76. 77. 84.
Played that with top spin and left-hand side on the cue ball, but a little too much left-hand side. Left him below the red that he intended to be on.
84.
So no century break from Mark Selby, but nevertheless an excellent break of 84 to counter the 79 from O'Sullivan in frame 1, and we're all level. It's one frame all.